Part 2. Number 6. Quality of life changes, less wasted Reqs. So what are quality of life changes? Well, they're basically changes that make the game healthier. Make sure all the joints are greased. And that's exactly what Halo 5's Req System needed and still needs. One thing is to make it feel more rewarding when players complete part of the armory. You've got all these Reqs to unlock, and when a player hits 25% of those unlocks, what happens?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what should happen is when players unlock 25% of the entire armory, give them a special cool message. Maybe give them a bonus pack too. Throw some confetti in there. Same thing can happen when players reach 50%, 75%, and when you hit 100%, you get something really fucking cool. Something that everyone knows you have to complete the entire armory to get that. You wanna know what really needs to be fixed too? The Req stations. Yeah, I've talked about this before. They're clunky and very laggy. Now, isn't this funny? The one time a Halo game needs to have customizable loadouts, it doesn't. Hope you like scrolling through endless menus every time you want to change your weapons. And when combined with the lack of a favorites list and the inability to sell Reqs in a timely manner, as well as the oversaturated weapon attachments, it makes the Req stations incredibly laggy, clustered, clunky, and annoying to use. Seriously, 28 battle rifles. This is the way you designed it, 343? Are you serious? And another thing, players need to be able to redeem more than one Req at a time. You want to know why? Just watch this.
Req confirmed. Req confirmed.
You see that bullshit? I'm trying to get a shotgun and camo, but I can't redeem 2 Reqs at the same time. Now, I'm in a Warzone game, so I got a bunch of AI enemies and 12 other players trying to kill me. So by the time I go through the clustered menus and redeem the Reqs I want, I've already spent too much time standing there, I get fucking killed, and it's all wasted. And the fact that every time you spawn, you run the risk of instantly dying is a flaw so fatal, it changes the entire gameplay of Warzone. I'm now conditioned to not spawn with anything I'm not prepared to lose instantly. Instead, I spawn and run to a Req station, but god damn it, sometimes that doesn't work either. So if there's going to be incredibly rare weapons and Reqs that people will only get access to once in a blue moon, players need to be able to spawn safely and take at least 4 seconds to orient themselves. I mean, the whole spawning system seems totally random too. And then what the dude, I just spawned 327 meters away from my objective. Do you think that's far enough? And the vehicle spawns? Jesus, man, I hope you're lucky, because I'm not. Vehicles spawn in the same place every time, and sometimes you can even get fuck, just like that. I didn't even get to move. That's another Req wasted. So basically, Halo 5's Req system needs safer spawning, and it needs quality of life changes to make the overall experience much less frustrating, and give players a fair chance to bring in death-dispensing weaponry. Number 7. Customization Overhaul. Now, I'm not going to mince words on this subject, because I literally don't give 2 shits about 99% of the armor or helmets in this game. Forcing players to unlock 400 pieces of armor through sheer randomness ultimately decreases the value of that armor. Yeah, sure, some of it looks cool and impressive, and things like Achilles actually show that the player accomplished something, but what's sad is that when 343 adds this armor set that isn't unlocked by random, it brings out the worst of the community. 343, your armor customization is one of the most disappointing parts of Halo 5. Quality over quantity. We've all heard that before. Once again, I'm going to stroke Halo Reach's nuts. The armor customization is phenomenal and satisfying. There's like 15 different parts of your Spartan to customize, and you get to choose what you purchase. Not to mention, some of it can be unlocked by doing certain challenges. Almost everything has a price, so you can set goals for yourself to save up credits to get the badass armor that you want. And when you finally get it, it's because you earned it. Reach's armor customization is way better than Halo 5's, and I always had a certain level of respect for people who had beaten the legendary campaign and gotten CQB, I think it is, or grinded like hell to get the lightning armor. And the armor in Reach was dynamic and different enough that you could tell what armor pieces people had. You could tell at a glance, and you'd think 4 years later that Halo 5 would just build upon what was already done in Halo Reach. But no, they stepped back even further because it's been dumbed down to 2 categories. And it also doesn't help that it's oversaturated. There's too much armor. I can't even tell what the armor is at a glance anymore. It's all unfamiliar to me. In Halo 3, it was simplistic and beautiful. You knew every piece of armor, both elites and Spartans. In Reach, the elite armor was a little disappointing because it only came in sets. But they made up for that by making the Spartan armor way better than Halo 3's. You know what the sad thing is? There's only one armor set I use in Halo 5, and I'm never going to change it. You know why? Because it's the only armor that I actually fucking earned. And you know what's even more sad? I didn't even earn it in Halo 5. No! I got this armor by beating every legendary campaign in the game that shall not be named. Oh, but you know what? I was just kidding about all of that, because I just got a fucking Helioscroll helmet in a gold pack. The helmet and armor I worked so hard for, put in diligent hours to beat all those campaigns, and then I just unlock it in a random pack? That's great. You know what? That's just great. Knowing that any old lucky bastard can unlock this super sweet armor that was supposed to be exclusive, it's nice to know that 343 fucked that up too. So how could 343 have made the armor and helmets more satisfying, relevant, respectable, and awesome? Well, for starters, separate the armor into at least 4 categories: chest, helmet, right and left shoulders, legs. At the same time, cool your fucking jets, 343. Nobody needs 210 sets of armor. Nobody wants to go through and unlock all that shit, especially since we don't get any rewards for it. Honestly, 343 should have made 1/4 of the armor that they did. Separate them into the 4 categories I listed before. Perhaps give certain armor sets variations that players can unlock with actual attachments instead of a lazy, slightly different looking paint job. Or how about this? Have an entirely new option of Spartan paint job, so players can now unlock a specific paint job that they can use on their Spartans for custom games or free-for-all. That'd be a really cool idea, I think. Now, a really important part, I think, is to make the armor purchasable with Req points and real money. But that's only for the people that really want that armor and need to complete a certain set. So there you go, 343. Now you can make extra money off of personal armor sales. Now, in order to bring back respectability to certain pieces of armor, make things like Fotis, Recon, Mark V, Hunter, etc. only unlockable through challenges, achievements. That way, certain armor will actually carry weight in the game amongst the community. It will have meaning in multiplayer. So there you go, 343. I've come up with a way that you could have made the armor more desirable, impactful, respectable, and satisfying to unlock. I've come up with a way to do that while maintaining the same amount of Reqs and also adding another way for players to spend real money. And at the same time, I've cut down on the oversaturated armor and helmets. Anything else I can do for you, 343? You want a pizza or something? Need a back rub? How about a video that gives you $1 million ideas? Here you go. Number 8. Make the store more appealing visually and interactively. If 343 were to have taken everything I've said so far, they would have been at the home stretch right now. And the second to last thing they would need to do is to revamp the look, feel, and interactivity of the store. This is where people are gonna spend their money. Make it fun to browse. Have a community Req Pack idea vote or something. Get people involved in the store. Also, there should be 2 types of stores. A simple store that the players have access to in between games, they can go quickly, and another store that is more of a marketplace for people to spend a little bit of time in. At the main menu, they can access it. The Req store right now has bare essentials, and it should have been expanded. Number 9. Integrate the Req system with a proper user interface. Now, you may have seen my video, Why is Halo 5's UI so bad? And if you haven't, you probably already know that the user interface is is pretty bad. While making the UI more intuitive and integrated with the Req system would make everything so much better. For instance, when people want to buy a Req pack, a little counter pops up and they can choose how many packs they buy right then and there. So there's basically two unforgivable problems when the user interface and Req system are combined. If you've been playing Halo 5, you probably bought an Xbox, and then you probably bought the game. And if you bought Halo 5, well, it would be downright foolish to play just the campaign. So you probably pay $60 a year for Xbox Live, and maybe you're one of those people that spent money on Req packs. So let's say you spent $30 on Req packs. So now that you've invested all this money and time into Halo 5, you pop the game into your Xbox, you log in, and then you see this. You see this classic fucking message, retrieving data. In other words, the game is broken right now. I don't know if this is a problem with Halo's servers or the UI or what, but it is absolutely unforgivable that players can invest so much time and money into getting these Req cards only to have the entire system shut down for no explainable reason and no telling when it's gonna work again. Sometimes you join a Warzone game and you can't use any of your Reqs. Oh, but other players can, just to tease you. What the hell is that? You call that balance? I don't know what causes this problem, but it needs an immediate fix because I've heard way too many stories. I've had this happen to me way too many times, and it is game-breaking. It is the most game-breaking bug I've encountered with Halo 5. And the second unforgivable problem is, yes, of course. God damn it, let us sell more than one Req at a time. I don't know how many times I have to keep bringing this shit up, but I have to because it hasn't been fixed. Imagine you go to a card store to sell your old cards, and rather than just accepting them in bulk or a few cards at a time, the cashier only does single item transactions. It's quite possibly the stupidest design choice I have ever encountered. So 343 needed to have spent more time crafting, tweaking, and fixing the UI so that it complements the store and everything else related to the Req system. A good UI is how they tie it all together. Number 10, appealing to those that hate microtransactions. Now, before Halo 5 was even released, there was a huge portion of Halo fans that were pissed off, not only because split screen was not going to be in Halo 5, but also because microtransactions would. And quite possibly, the most important thing 343 Industries should have done with the Req system is appeal to those that hate microtransactions. Because those people that got so upset, are likely a part of the hardcore fan base. In order to make sure those players don't leave the Halo franchise forever, something needed to be done specifically for these people because this was such a radical change for the Halo franchise, and I think by making all these changes that I've listed so far, it would have made the whole system better overall and feel less like a cash grab gimmick. And I hope those of you watching that dislike microtransactions have watched the video up to this point, because I think with everything I've said so far, it would have made the whole system much more appealing to everyone. I think a lot of people who don't buy into microtransactions would have made an exception, and there would have been a ton of ways for people to get Req packs and Req points without having to spend money. It's the fact that the option to spend money is there, and now it doesn't feel essential to getting the most out of the game. You can still play Halo, level up, and get a satisfactory amount of Reqs through good old-fashioned grinding. And with the system that I have laid out, players wouldn't have to worry about 99% bullshit chance. So all you guys that hate microtransactions, what do you think about everything I've said so far? Would it have changed your mind in any way? In conclusion, do I think 343 is really going to implement all the things I've talked about? No. It's too late for most of that. The game has already been released and all those chances to appeal to more people are long gone. Now for all you Halo fans, subscribers, casual viewers, let me tell you the most important part of this video for you guys. It could have been so much better if one guy with a camera, with an editing program, and with a passion to make videos can come up with all these different ways to improve the Req system System, how much better could it really have been with a company of 200, 300 people all working towards the same goal? And let Halo 5 serve as a lesson for future Halo games. Because our standards should not be in the dirt, we should have a higher expectation for our Halo games. And now anyone that might be from Microsoft or 343 Industries that is watching this video, let me tell you something. Let me tell you the most important part of this whole video for you. If the Req packs weren't 99% random, if there were reliable unlocks, if players had a wider variety of permanent Req packs to buy, if the security clearances were revamped, if players were given challenges, deals, and special offerings, if Halo 5 had an online and physical card game, if players didn't have to worry about wasting their Reqs, if the armor was revamped, if the store was more appealing to collectors and everyone alike, if Halo 5 appealed to those who hate microtransactions, and if there was a beautiful user interface to tie it all together, you guys could have made so much fucking money. I can't help but laugh because I'm thinking about all these things and how whatever you made off of microtransactions at this point would be but a fraction of what you could have made off of everything. I mean, that's what video games come down to, right? Money. They have to make money or else the series can't continue. If only you had put more thought into it. Instead, you settled for mediocrity. Trust me, I'm usually against microtransactions, but this is something I would have made an exception for. I would have been excited to spend extra money on Halo 5, and everyone would have benefited from an improved Req system. But with the current Req system, I have never used my own money to buy Req packs, and I never will. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, and don't lie, you totally did, then you should subscribe to the Actman channel, where I talk about some of the more controversial issues surrounding Halo 5, and do some fun editing here and there. Now these two videos took a long time to put together, I'll tell you, but it was worth every second of it. I've gotten so much good feedback from all of you guys. I love reading comments, I love responding to them. If you have any ideas or want to share your thoughts, be sure to post your comments down below. This is the Actman signing out. Peace!